Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Expression Pass here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, the nice excited ADB. Joining me is the one, the only bossman himself, Mr. Corey Deary. Hello, good sir.
Hello, I'm here. It is 11:15, and we're recording a podcast.
Yes, we are. There's a lot of stuff that actually happened today. I know I will be excited and setting off, loud and stuff, but I'm just like, it's kind of a cool Thursday. It's kind of laid back. We definitely have to talk about a certain trailer that dropped, and I know people are analyzing it. I know a lot of people have already seen it, and
Should we have
it's
done a
exciting.
direct? Should we have done a direct recap show on the Mario movie? I mean, I feel like there wasn't really a lot there to do on.
Yeah, it just wasn't a lot. I don't think.
I mean, we probably
No.
could have done a reaction to the trailer at least, but
Hmm.
I don't know. It just, I mean, got too late, and now all the reactions are out there and nobody cares. I mean, do you want to talk about the Mario movie real quick? The trailer, the
Yeah.
first trailer?
Yes.
Uh,
So everybody, Nintendo had a special movie direct for the Super Mario Brothers movie that is coming out. If you've seen it, the trailer starts out with some lava dropping on the ground, and then more lava dropping, and then you just seeing King Koopas, which is weird because, or Bowser, I should say.
Are we shocked that it's not an airship, like a real airship? It just kind of feels like a floating island.
That's what I was thinking of because it's like castle and stuff wasn't on there or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Uh,
I was kind of shocked that it wasn't an airship. It didn't bother me that much, but it was just like they should. Why isn't this like a Mario 3 airship?
I don't know. We see his island kind of thing that's floating around come down to the landing. The Koopas are standing in like in the army base. Um, King Koopa comes out. A little time passes. He go. There's this ice castle, and King Bowser says, open the doors," and the doors open, and all these penguins come out. And one penguin says, "Attack." They start running and grabbing snow, start throwing it. And while the dramatic music is coming on, they're hitting Bowser with snowballs, and he's not phased at all. Uh,
Yeah,
and then someone brought a catapult with an ice cube and threw it hit the Koopa. I was kind of laughing. I was just like, okay, that's funny. I mean,
yeah,
that's cartoon uh cliche, but that was just so funny. It was like spot on
yeah.
and
This.
everything.
I mean, this movie is clearly made for like 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, right? I mean, like that's
Mhm.
the audience they're shooting for, and it was just funny because like first of all, Bowser looks imposing in this movie.
Yes.
Like that opening shot of Bowser when they like he shows up through the fire for the first time is like a
Hmm.
really cool shot of Bowser, like way cooler than anything I thought I was going to see in a in a Mario movie trailer. And Jack Black sounds great as Bowser, right? Like it's a cool thing. I think they did a really good job. I was actually shocked at how good he sounded.
Yes. Uh,
So
Melting the castle. And I gotta say, like I said, that fire looks so good. I kind of like how everything crumbles in. The Bowser ends up getting the star, saying, "Who's gonna stop me?"
yeah, there's
Uh,
an incredible amount of detail in this movie. It seems like it's cool. It's the penguins are cool. By the way, if they don't make a penguin falls off the ledge joke in this thing, or like a penguin almost falls off the ledge or something, like
hmm
that's a hard miss. Like they need to do that. Uh,
Yeah. So in comes Mario. They kind of like fast forward, and Mario's just like, "Whoa, what is this place?" And he's about to go to this blue mushroom, but Toad pops out and said, "Don't touch that mushroom." But then he says it's okay.
oh my god, it's
Next
so
thing you
funny.
know,
It's so funny because that's clearly a reference to the mushroom in Mario 2, right? The
yes,
Japan Mario 2 Lost Levels. So funny.
Yes. Uh, and you know, Toad and Mario goes on an adventure. Chris Pratt is voicing Mario, and we finally got to see how he looks and how he hears him because Nintendo also put out a movie poster, and I actually want that movie poster.
Hmm.
If they sell it, I want it framed and everything because I think it's really nice and detailed.
Yeah. I wonder. I wonder if I wonder how much of this movie. I mean, they're clearly going to sell posters and all these other kinds of things, right? But I wonder how
Mhm.
much of this movie they're really looking at trying to monetize outside of it. Like we already saw the uh, toys, right, being listed, right? We already saw the
Yes.
toys being listed. We saw obviously the poster and obviously Blu-rays and stuff. But like, do you think we could possibly get a game based off this movie? Like a in this art style in this world, because like I would be really interested to see this world. It kind of gave me kind of like the theme park almost,
Hmm.
like that feel and that vibe of the theme park. So I don't know. I just was thinking a lot about that.
I think it definitely. I don't think it would be on Switch. I think it would be on their next console. Uh, I could see it happening in a sense. I just wonder the Nintendo's artists really have to go in and capture, like do a lot of 3D animation and put in a lot of detail. I could see this happening. I just hope that I know Nintendo doesn't really like Mario games really don't have a um really doesn't have that like a cutscene mentality for the Mario games.
Yeah,
But
but they never really needed one. But now that we're getting a movie, like they got to tell
mhm,
a story in this movie. I mean, I don't really care about the a story in a Mario game. I just want something, because this is really like, you look at this movie and like you recognize that it's like Mario and Luigi and Toad
yeah,
and Bowser and stuff, but they're all kind of slightly different than what we've been used to for the last 20, almost 30 years, right? Since Mario
yes.
64, really. Uh and like I know people were complaining, but I'm like, you realize up until Mario 64, every single Mario game had a different art style, right? Like Mario looked different in every single game.
Hmm.
Uh, and I actually really like the design of Mario. I know some people were complaining about the designs of Mario and Luigi or whatever, but like they look they look really cool. I really like this design. It's almost very Disney esque in a way. Uh, and I know Illumination is like, that whole studio was kind of formed out of ex Disney and Pixar people, but like
Hmm.
it's just like, man, they really did a great job of capturing what makes Mario Mario while making it their own. And like I know a lot of people were complaining about Chris Pratt's voice, but I'm like, it just sounds like they're trying to capture that Super Show kind of vibe instead of, you know, I understand people want Charles Martinet, and like I bet we get a Wahoo out of him or something at one point,
Yeah.
right? Like there's going to be a classic Mario sound or two in there, but like, no offense, I don't want to listen to that for 2 hours. I
It, it when Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out and they redesigned him and Zabir Schwartz, I think, did the voice.
mhm,
I think that's his name. People didn't envision how Sonic sound because if you look at it, Sonic had Jamal White from Family Matters from
mhm,
for the bad animation Sonic in kind of the Saturday cartoon Channel 7. But then you had Sonic X, which was on Fox Kids,
mhm.
and then you had some of the video games that, the voice acting just was irritating or people just didn't care. And when you watch the movie, because a lot of people had their doubts for the movie, and both movies are great,
Yeah,
Ben Schwartz's voice is kind of not the representation of Sonic.
Yeah.
Like you see Sonic and you want to hear him, you hear his voice
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And I mean, not that I don't think Chris Pratt is going to have nearly that big of an impact on Mario as
Hmm.
Ben Schwartz did for Sonic, but like I think that you're going to be able to say like I think this change is needed. I know people don't want to hear that, but I think a change of Sonic or of Mario is needed just to get like refresh the brand, right? Like I
Hmm.
know a lot of people love Mario Odyssey and stuff like that, but I just feel like Mario for a long time in terms of art style and direction has kind of felt a little stale. How many times have I told you I want a 2D platformer in the style of the Mario and Luigi games, like that like the cover art, the hand drawn
Hmm.
kind of
The
look, paint
boldness.
like yeah, the boldness mixed with like almost like a watercolor type of background type thing. Like I would love that, but we're not going to get that because like it's all about recognition. And I say that, but like look how well Zelda did when and Link's design changed. Remember that first
Yeah.
trailer we talked about, like how like Link people were trying to debate whether or not Link was a woman or not, you know?
Yes.
And yeah, so I mean, I think this is good. I think Mario looks cool. I think Toad is hilarious. Like I think Toad and Bowser are gonna totally steal the show.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm waiting for Charlie Day as Luigi also. I think that's gonna be great. Uh,
And I think that's really gonna be like Mario and Luigi's better with each other. Because I
mhm.
feel like there's gonna get a point where Mario's gonna say something that's gonna hurt Luigi and make Luigi walk away and everything. And I think like it feels like one of those moments that Mario has so much pressure or something happens to Mario where he gets on everybody and yells at them
Mhm.
where they turn their back on Mario and he feels down for doing that kind of
Well, don't
doing that.
forget that Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong are in this movie also. You know,
Yes.
so we're gonna get a hint of that. I think people are gonna get what they want, right? And I kind
Hmm.
of, spoilers. We record the shows on Thursday. That's after I record Tower Casuals, and I was talking to my co-host over there, Josh, about it a little bit, and we might get a Smash Light type of movie universe. I think we're definitely gonna get a Donkey Kong movie. It's already in the works. I
Hmm.
I I think we're gonna get a Luigi's Mansion movie based on that last shot. Um,
Well, I don't think we'll get a.
I think we're
Well,
gonna get a
Nintendo's.
Luigi's and it was funny because he actually said I think we're gonna get a Luigi's Mansion movie, but I think wouldn't it be hilarious if it was a Always Sunny and Always Sunny in Philadelphia cast just does the movie.
Oh wow.
Uh, but in all seriousness, like I think we could start getting like at least a Mario universe kind of MCU style thing.
Well, with Nintendo's deal with Illumination, I believe that can happen. I think Luigi's Mansion will be very interesting because that's something that will be straight good for Halloween. Like that is like
You know what else I thought about this they could experiment with, even if we don't get a Luigi's Mansion movie. I was thinking like and if Nintendo had the foresight for this, and I don't know how if they do or not or whatever, but like what if they make these big huge budget pictures but they partner with DreamWorks and Illumination and people like this to where like what if they made you know how every Pixar movie has a short film in front of it?
hmm.
What if they made short films based on these characters and put them on
Well,
expansion pass
well,
as an
that's
expansion
Nintendo
pack?
Pictures.
I
That's
know.
Nintendo Pictures.
Well, I think
And
I think right now Nintendo Pictures is more of like a production and asset creation help kind of
uh
thing.
huh.
I don't know how big or small that company is going to be. I haven't researched enough of that company they bought to know what they've done and what they haven't done and what they're capable of. But like,
Yeah, I know the name has just changed recently, but I think they're
Yeah.
still working things out with that. Like
Yeah, but
I
I
agree
think
with you. Oh,
oh, sorry,
oh,
go ahead.
oh, I agree with you because the Pikmin shorts were really good on 3DS,
Hmm.
and watching them on like Wii U and stuff, and those are kind of the things that we kind of like. Is what I'm expecting that some of their lesser or some of their because like a Kid Icarus short before like Mario and it's action packed, I would be like, oh,
I don't.
God went
I
in on this.
I mean, I think you're gonna start. I think you're gonna see something like obviously Mario is the beginning, and then Donkey Kong. I think Kirby is probably a safe choice to be next
Hmm.
in line for one of these movies. Uh, I think you're gonna go that route first, but like, man, I've just been like, ever since I watched this trailer, I've been thinking about like a Zelda something,
Right.
anything Zelda. But like I've always said, I think Zelda would be best if Link wasn't in it until the very end, the very least, if not at all. You know, like I think exploring the political side of Hyrule and seeing how,
Hmm.
if the king died or if Zelda rose to power and how she's handling it, or even including the champions in it to like as rulers of each kind of governing body of Hyrule and the rise of Ganondorf from thief to king or whatever. Like I
But
think that'd be super
but then
interesting.
but then do you think that that would work like I'm thinking of the final not Avid Children, but the one before Final Fantasy 15 came out.
Like
Uh
Kingsglaive or whatever.
Kingsglaive, I think. Yeah, like animation wise, do you think that would work or would you want like real life for it? Because Zelda could go either way. And I kind of feel like if because I don't think Illumination could do like that's something so serious. I just wonder how it works. How
I
you
don't
know
think I don't
how
I don't
yeah.
even know if Zelda would be animated. I mean, I think maybe they partner with Illumination for their animated stuff like Kirby, Donkey
Mhm.
Kong, Mario. Uh, let's see who else could be thrown in there. I guess my
Cause
Star Fox
cause
maybe would be cool. But like I think for Zelda and Metroid and even Kid Icarus to an extent, I think you could do a live action, or Kid Icarus could be an anime style thing like Castlevania, or
mhm.
like I think they could really start doing interesting things. And judging by this trailer alone, I think Nintendo finally got it right.
Well, yeah, and I was speaking of Smash Brothers, Bandai Namco has I don't know who they went through to do their shorts to introduce their characters and stuff, but some of those those character intros are
I think
cool.
I think it was probably Blur or someone like that. Blur does a lot of great work like that. They do the all the
Because
they did all the Halo cinematics for Halo
uh
2 and 5, I think.
because can you see them doing the shorts for some of their animated stuff? Because like I'm sorry, that's I was watching the Sephiroth reveal, doing the reactions, but I was just watching. I'm like, this is smooth. This is good animation. Like I could see them doing that
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So like if they do the shorts and the Illuminations do the movies, oh heck yeah! Because I think the thing about it is that of course Nintendo is making sure that everything is like I definitely want to see the behind the scenes when this movie come out on like Blu-ray. I really want to see the behind the scenes on how evolved Nintendo was and how the animators and how they came up with the storyboards and everything. Like I'm really interested into seeing that because if this is a art style that Nintendo wants to continue to use, definitely when the Donkey Kong movie comes out and everything, I'm
Hmm.
down for it because I think this movie, regardless of its success, I really think
Oh,
it's
this
going to be
movie's this movie's
successful.
gonna be this movie's gonna be the next Sonic. I guarantee. This movie's
Mm,
gonna sell a ton of tickets. Like like just by based on Twitter reactions and interactions and things I saw on Facebook, even people that I work with that don't play games really at all, I think that they
yeah.
are I think they're ready for this. I think they're excited, and I mean, to be honest, I am too. I wasn't until I saw this trailer. Right, I thought this
I,
movie is going to be kind of not a disaster, but
mhm.
definitely, especially the high quality bar that Sonic set, and definitely Detective
Yes.
Pikachu set a bar pretty high, right? And then Sonic surpassed that, and then obviously like the Castlevania stuff on Netflix and The Witcher and stuff like that. This had a huge hill to climb, and I judging by this trailer alone, man, it's just I
Now,
think
it's funny that you mentioned Detective Pikachu, because I think that's how Zelda works for some reason. I, Something about I like the Detective Pikachu. I like the way that they look, how the Pokemon look,
mhm,
like the mixture of that animation and real life. Like I think that
yeah,
works for
mhm,
Zelda.
yeah. I would like to see like a live action Zelda with the um I mean like the bokoblins and like monsters and enemies and stuff. Like obviously the Gorons are probably going to be animated, right?
Yes.
Or like if Rivali is in it, like Rivali is going to be animated, that kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
I mean, you could find someone to play Gerudos, right? Like you can find you know
Hmm.
people to play these roles, and so I think that would be a clear mix of that, and I almost like I guess Lord of the Rings, Witcher style. I would say more along the lines of like The Witcher in terms of like visual presence, not that gory or that dark, but like
Yes.
I mean, have you watched any of the episodes of The Witcher on Netflix at all?
Not yet. I need to start it and everything because I
Yeah.
think season three is
Well,
starting up
yeah,
or something.
it does a good job of uh of mixing live action with animation that doesn't look cheesy,
Hmm.
Also, I guess that's what happens when Netflix dumps like $500 million into it, but over 4 years. So,
We call budget.
um, yeah. So that's
But I could see I agree with you, Corey. I could see a Nintendo movie universe right now.
hmm
And definitely like in the future, and maybe yeah, this would give some ideas to Nintendo to be like, okay, for our next console or whatever, if everybody loving these graphics, if we could bring that to life
hmm
with our next console, that not only changes what we could do artistically, we may be able to do something more creative, level design, innovate or something. Because yeah, I think their level design is gonna be beautiful, but
hmm
I
And
think it's
this,
gonna be like, oh, go ahead.
oh, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you said level design, and it made me think of like you look at what Super Mario 3D World on the Switch added with Bowser's Fury, with that kind of open
Yeah.
worldish style experiment, and then you see how vast this world looks. I mean, we could be seeing like a sneak peek at what an open world Mario game could look like between, I mean, obviously it's not going to look like the movie, but like it could look close to the movie, right? Like, I mean,
Hmm.
Peach's castle sitting on top of this giant mushroom hill, and I think you go left, there's like, I don't know, lava land or whatever, and you go right, and there's some sort of, you know, Weedle forest. I don't know. Like, I think there's a lot you could do. I think there's
I
a
th-
lot you could do.
the whole world is connected, so you could just go here and there. But I'm like, maybe you can't. Maybe not saying it's Breath of the Wild shrine levels, but I'm like, hey, maybe there is a go kart place somewhere, or maybe there is Yoshi races and stuff like there that may help you out and stuff. Like there's so much that you could do, and you still like you could you could put a Mario open world game and connect that to like Yoshi's Crafted World or the Yoshi games because Yoshi's Island is way off somewhere, but
hmm
still in the Mario universe. I
But that's
mean,
another thing too. You could totally do like a Yoshi's Island short, right?
Yeah.
like a short of, and that's where these shorts come in too, like Luigi's Mansion, Yoshi's Island, or Yoshi's Story, or Yoshi's Crafted or Woolly World, or even a Kirby style thing, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is where you could get really experimental in terms of what is a full length movie, what is a short, what is a TV show, what is, and how do we integrate all this into a game or the theme parks, right? Like
Yes.
you got to remember too, Nintendo's trying to build these theme parks and add on to the theme parks. Like there's a big Donkey Kong section coming, and uh, I don't know, man. There's so much that is opening up with this one movie that so many people are speculating and interpreting, and maybe this won't lead to anything. Maybe it'll just lead to a second movie, right? But like,
Hmm.
but you
There's a
can't.
way to expand their franchises
Yeah,
by actually going into different routes and stuff. Because they talked about they want to get into entertainment and expand their franchises and
hmm
everything. So if this is the way to do it, do go ahead.
hmm
I think you got a lot of gamers and non-gamers support to get people into it and
yeah.
everything.
And you look, I mean, you look at this, right, and you're just like, well, they're already making a Donkey Kong movie, and clearly they're hinting at Luigi's Mansion or something. Those are the same
Hmm.
when he's running from the Dry Bones, which shout out to Dry Bones. So excited to see Dry Bones in this movie.
I was so ready to laugh at
But
that
I
section.
know, dude, Luigi's going to be like the hidden star of this entire movie. Uh,
Hmm.
but those are the trees from Luigi's Mansion. Those are the trees from Luigi's Mansion. The broken kind of almost upside down trees with no leaves.
Yeah.
That just like the color palette they use, minus like the lava pits he's jumping over. But like, man, if
Dude, Luigi's Mansion is not only like not saying it's ripping off Ghostbusters, but it can be like a comedic mystery game.
Mhm.
What is going on? Like Luigi's Mansion 3 is a perfect example of
Yeah,
you could take this place, make a story about this. We want to see King Boo. Like I want to know who's gonna voice King Boo, like, and just make it hilarious, but also make it like a little bit action packed. Make it this mystery. Like I think you got the writers that could really make this.
hmm
Like if the writing is strong in this Mario movie,
yeah,
get those same writers to be like, okay, let's do this Mario, let's do this Luigi's Mansion, let's play the games, see what works, see what we could get out of it, and then let's bring our own into it. Because I think Nintendo's just there to oversee stuff,
yeah,
and the Illumination is just like it's a Bayonetta, it's the Platinum Games thing. Here you guys go. This is our idea. This is the budget. Create.
yeah,
What we don't like, we'll tell you guys. What we do like, bounce off ideas. Bam, there it goes.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess I'm excited to see what this movie is and what happens. I think not doing Charles Martinet was a good idea. I
Yeah.
think I think Chris Pratt is fine as Mario. I mean, it's not like super special or anything, but it's not annoying to me. I think it's fine, especially for what they're doing. I think Keegan Michael Key as Toad is hilarious. I think that whole section was hilarious. Uh,
This is the weirdest thing. It did not sound like him.
I know he's doing. I mean, he's doing a voice. He's very good at doing voices. But yeah, you're right. It does not sound like him at all, which is hilarious. And gosh, Jack Black as Bowser.
It's
I
so
was
fitting.
I was kind of like concerned because I feel like Bowser has that deep guttural sound, and
Yeah.
Jack Black has. I mean, his voice isn't like high pitched or anything, but his voice is different from Bowser's, right? And like
Yes.
I don't know if they added something to it or not, but I mean, I don't know if I think they probably altered his voice a little bit, but like it
Hmm.
works, and the demeanor of Bowser is hilarious and scary at the same time, and it was that opening with Bowser was awesome.
Yeah. If you go back to the Nintendo Direct when Doug Bowser was being like introduced and Bowser came in, and he's like, "Oh!"
hmm
Like you hear that voice, it's just like these grunts are Bowser. But
Yeah.
yet, when you hear Jack Black, you just like, oh my goodness, a speaking Bowser is Jack Black. I don't
Hmm.
know. I agree with you. I don't
Yeah.
know what they did. They alter his voice, but he's so fitting with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like when you see a movie with Jack Black, he has a kind of, I don't want to say like a nasal tone to it, but
Hmm.
it has some definition that you'd be like, okay, in all of your movies for Jack Black,
His
you
voice is
always sound the
distinct.
same. Yes.
His voice is so distinct, and I am kind of disappointed we didn't get to see Peach or Donkey Kong or Cranky Kong or some of these other characters that they already said were in the movie. Which I think we'll get another trailer probably.
Game Awards.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean
thinking Game
that was my
Awards.
thought was the Game Awards, and then throughout Christmas and definitely like during football playoffs and
Hmm.
you know Christmas
Oh,
basketball
Nintendo would be
games and stuff.
crazy not to get it into the Super Bowl. That'd be
Oh yeah, no,
insane not to get.
there's going to be like 2 or 3 commercials during the Super Bowl, I bet. So, um,
Because
yeah,
they're gonna go heavy in March. Like we'll probably see it at McDonald's, like the Happy Meal toys,
well
and
that
that's gonna
already
be a
leaked,
sight.
right? I mean, those Happy Meal toys already leaked, right? So
Oh yeah.
that's where we saw the first image of Mario. Uh, yeah, so we'll see, but I'm kind of excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens after this now. And typical
Hmm.
Nintendo fan, right? You're always wondering what's happening after the current thing. Uh, but this is a new avenue for Nintendo. I mean, we really haven't seen anything since like, besides like the Kirby cartoon that was on in like the mid 2000s, we really haven't seen
Yeah.
anything since like the Mario movie or the Super Show or Captain N or the Zelda show or the weird 3D animated
Like
Donkey Kong Country show that is really scary to watch at this point because the animation's
I
so
was
bad.
I I just remember watching that on Sundays before church. That's all I can say with the
Oh,
Donkey Kong show.
it's really just bad, interesting, bad. Do not recommend. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see if Nintendo decides to partner with anybody else or just Illuminations. Uh, I know that Universal, they kind of have been partnering with NBC Universal on a lot of things, including the
Hmm.
theme park, right? So, I mean, I think it makes
Yes.
sense to keep everything in house and aesthetically this similar in that type of universe, right? So, because like that world looks like the theme park a little bit
Hmm.
from what I've
Yeah.
seen. So,
Man, I'm sorry. Excite Bike came to my mind, and I'm just like, ooh, what would they do with the Excite Bike, or what would they do with like F-Zero 1080? Like their racing series, like what? Because I feel like there's gonna be a racing part in the Donkey Kong movie, but I'm just like,
mhm.
what if you actually took your racing series, whether they were well known or not, and built a movie around it. Of course, Fast and the Furious gonna come to mind, but I'm just like, man, I want to see y'all animate some cool stuff with this.
Yeah, yeah. Where's my Donkey Kong cart mine cart stuff?
Oh my goodness, dude!
You know the Donkey Kong movie's gonna have a minecart thing in
It
it.
is, but I need to find out how is this going to be scored. Like, I think it's going to be awesome seeing it in motion, but I'm just like, who is scoring this? Like, and we don't know who's scoring the Mario movie just yet, or any songs for it. But I'm into I. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, enough about that, I guess.
But Corey, should we do Patreon shout outs?
Yeah. Uh, let me open it here. I got too busy talking about Mario movie that um all right. So yeah, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can head over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network where you can sign up to support us directly. A $1 a month gets you early access to multiple shows. And if you subscribe with the $5 tier, you become a Patreon producer. What does that mean? It means you get your name shouted out right here on this segment of this program across others. So, without further ado, our Patreon producers for this episode of Expansion Pass are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, my wife, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. I want to thank all of our Patreon producers. I want to thank all of our patrons. I want to thank all of our free listeners. Remember, all of our content remains free. We just provide you with some perks if you subscribe. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify if you're a free listener. Remember to hit and leave us a 5-star rating or review. Really helps. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of out of it today. It's been a busy week. So,
all the podcasts and conferences you've been.
Yeah, it's just been a busy week in general. I mean, this is the fifth night out of the last 6 days that I've recorded, plus work and all this other stuff. So
yeah, you'll get Friday off. You get to relax.
We'll see.
Anyways. Well, before we get to kind of like our main discussion, EA announced Need for Speed Unbound. This is kind of their next game after their 3-year hiatus. I think Criterion have been working on it. And this one kind of features a black cast on it. When you watch the trailer and you hear the music, it's by A$AP Rocky. I think he's in the game, or he may be like the main character, or there's someone that looks like him. And they went into a different art style. It may make you think of Need for Speed Underground, but this one has more of a cell shaded kind of feel to it and look.
It's weird because like the city and the cars are clearly realistically designed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
but they're like the characters in the game are this stylized almost cell shaded, like you said, Ed. But then like all the car effects, like the smoke from drifting, and like some of the effects on the cars themselves, and like just a lot of the things are really stylized and really colorful, and I really dig the direction. I hope the game is good. But like, I really dig the direction, and I think this is unique. It's different. It's fun. And I think like outside of something like Forza Horizon, this is something that arcade racing really needs.
Yes.
And I like it. I don't know what other people are saying. I don't know if anybody commented on anything today that I saw, but like,
a lot of people were just like, it looks interesting, and I think that interest is like people are gonna invest in picking the game up. I haven't heard anything negative or saying that EA is trying too hard or Criterion is trying too hard. I haven't heard anything like that. I know graffiti is a big thing about this, but it's kind of like the arrows and the style and everything. But like we said earlier, cell shading. This game is only going to be available for PC, PlayStation 5, and Series X and S. So no last gen or current gen.
Good.
And Switch is not getting it. But it's an EA game, so we already knew that that it wouldn't be on the system. Definitely with what they're trying to go for, and like with the graphic style and everything. I personally, it probably just wouldn't look right on the Switch doing it. But it's not. I won't rule it out or anything. Later on down the road, somehow it could get ported to a Nintendo console. We just don't know yet. We got to see how this game does, and everything. I know, Corey, when you text me about it, I didn't know anything about it because people said like there was reports that it got leaked or something. The title got leaked, but I was just like,
yeah, it got leaked yesterday, I think, or a couple days ago, because it was leaked by the Xbox store actually, and then there's this weird new thing that all these companies are doing where I noticed it with Ubisoft first with Assassin's Creed, where they changed all the digital icons to like the same icon almost, except like they'll use the logo of the game. Like the way Assassin's Creed did it was they have this black and charcoal gray gradient kind of background that depicts some of the stuff from the game, and then in the
Mhm.
middle of with gold is just like the Assassin's Creed logo of that game, right? So like uh Odyssey has a Spartan helmet in the middle. uh Valhalla has like the two kind of axes, and like and they changed it to all of for all the Assassin's Creed games. And it looks really nice when they're all lined up together, right? Like it looks really nice, but it was just like I noticed that. And then EA did it with all the Need for Speed games. Like they're all like this black and gray gradient with white lettering, the Need for Speed in white lettering, and then they all changed like the subtitle to that lime green that they're using for this title. And I'm like, that's really interesting, and I actually like the style that these companies are
Is
using to
this
promote their
is
games.
this like the this is like just for the digital version, like
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
theme, like
yeah.
the front
Like
of it.
the
Oh,
the icons are like the icons of the games on Xbox are square, right? And I assume they are on
yes.
PlayStation, and like it just looks really nice. And like especially when you go into your library and you see which games you own and stuff, and they're all lined up together,
Mhm.
like, oh, those are all the Assassin's Creed games. I can tell by the logo, and it's just like it's really clean and really nice and simple, and I really dig it, and I really like what they did with Need for Speed, and I'm kind of excited to see if other companies follow suit for this.
I'm probably at the show because I will check the Xbox store because I'm assuming that they have it. Maybe I'll check also my Xbox library because I don't know if even if you bought it, if they updated your Xbox library also.
Yeah, they do. They'll update it.
They did.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where
Then I'll,
yeah.
I'll okay. Just to get a better look at it because I didn't know that they did an update or anything.
Yeah, it's really
So
nice. So,
so um but yeah, that we know that there was some Pokemon news and everything, but we'll probably say that for Nintendo Power Block and everything. Because I thought they were just only going to do a trailer. That thing was 14 minutes long. I'm like, this is not a trailer. This is a direct. What is going on? Uh,
yeah.
for it and everything. I know the new Pokemon with the giraffe. I was just like, is that a chain chomp on his head?
Yeah. It's man, these new Pokemon, man, they're strange.
Yeah, but they added a lot to it. So I'll be texting Gracie. I'm like, I'm gonna need you on the show. Take it. We're recording. So, well, we'll see how things go. Because I might be like, Grayson, we need you on Power Block for Monday. Got to see how Sunday goes, everybody. Uh, and I'd be like, Grayson, can you come on Power Block? And he'd be like, sure. Okay, you are the Pokemon master. Tell us all.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
would like side tangent about PAL Block. I would really like to get like a rotating third chair in here, like a almost
Mhm.
semi-permanent, like like maybe get like 3 or 4 different people and they fill in once a month, like Grayson and Stephanie and anybody else that we know, just like and then obviously we'll have like a guest or two, right? But I I
Yes.
I really miss having that third person on this show that you can like bounce other thoughts off of, you know.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, to be honest, I mean, I think Grayson would be like if we were to pick a permanent third chair, I think Grayson would be like a great ad. But I know he doesn't have time to do that, so I'm not gonna
Yes.
ask him. But uh, that would be my ideal third candidate at this point for a
Yeah.
permanent third chair if we had one. I don't know. It's just stuff I was thinking about earlier today.
Okay.
I
Well,
think I
everybody.
think about this show a lot and how we can
Oh,
improve it.
that's always.
Like I do. I just get what happens.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Uh, but then I get excited when when you get ideas and you want to create. I'm like, yes, let's do it. Let's try it. Let's see where it
I
goes.
know that's part of the
Everything.
problem. You don't tell me that you know or it's a bad idea or stop.
Well, because I can't stop, Corey. I'm not going to stop your creativity. We won't know anything until we try it and stuff. I'm an Aries that loves
No, not
creativity.
having this conversation again. We already
We're
did it
not getting
yesterday.
to that episode. I'll just say, as a person who looks forward to creativity, I'm always supporting people who want to create and everything or try stuff. I'm always down for that and everything. You already know how many times I say yes. Like only time I'll tell you no that's not working is when you're showing me artwork that you have idea. I'll be like no. I'm like or no, this could change. We could probably do this kind of like that. That's the only time I might say no to you. And that gets like really hard to say to you sometimes because just like I don't want to crush your ideas or inject on your ideas, but I'm just like I want to refine it because we both love art, and so we both want to come to an agreement to be like, yeah, this looks good. But other times I just be like, oh yeah, I need a shirt of this. Like when I say I need a hoodie or a shirt of something, then it's on point.
Yeah. Anyways,
So
podcasts, everybody.
yay. Well, Corey, we're going to get into our topic for this episode, or our third topic, I should say, because we talked about the Mario and Need for Speed, but we were talking past Nintendo Power Block about Nintendo's second party and kind of partnership companies and the games that they make and everything. How many they have, what was their last working on. And it's kind of intriguing to see how many companies they actually like own. So looking up, Nintendo owns One Up Studio, IQ, Mario Club, Monolith Soft, Indie Cube, Next Level Games, Retro Studios, and SRD. The partners that they work with or they used to own is kind of mixed, like some of they call second party. Alpha Dream, but Alpha Dream ended up closing. Um, Umbrella, Arica, Arzest, Camelot Software Planning, Curve Digital, DNA. Now that's D small E N A. Game Freak, Gambarion, Genius, Sonoriti, Goodfield, Grezzo, HAL Laboratories, Intelligent Systems, Marigold Management, Ninja Pig Studios, Platinum Games, Skip Ltd, Sin Sophia, Vanpool, and Vitae. Those are some second. That was a mix of some of their second party and partners that they work with. So the partners that they work with, like Platinum Games and Bandai Namco, um, they're not owned by Nintendo, but they do make games for Nintendo and stuff. They don't own Grezzo, but it is a partner with them. They they own systems in a way. Uh, but yeah, like it's kind of interesting to see how Nintendo does their business and they make the games and everything. Um, for One Up Studio, they have Magical Vacation, Mother 3, and Copper's Trail. They're currently a development support studio for Nintendo EPD. IQ was a manufacturer of Chinese versions of Nintendo consoles. Since 2016, it has handled simplified Chinese translations, localizations, and since 2019 has moved from console manufacturer to become a development support studio, hiring programmers and testers to support Nintendo EPD games. Mario Club is debugging, quality control, and testing. Monolith Soft, everybody knows Xenoblade Chronicles series, Beta Chaos, and Disaster Day of Crisis. But they also help with the development support for Splatoon, Splatoon 2, The Legend of Zelda, Pikmin 3. And like we know, Tears of the Kingdom and Splatoon 3 that they help with. Indie Cube, they have the Wii Party series, Mario Party series, and Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classes. And Indie Cube is like kind of made up of ex Hudson Soft employees who used to do the old school Mario Party games. So, Next Level Games is the Luigi's Mansion series, Super Mario Strikers, Punch Out, and Metroid Prime Federation Force. Retro Studios have Metroid Prime and the Donkey Kong Country series, and SRD is the development support for Nintendo EPD and previously Nintendo EAD. Now, Nintendo EPD is their entertainment planning and development. um, they are the ones who made like The Legend of Zelda: Triforce Heroes, Animal Crossing, Twilight Princess HD, Mitomo, and their last three games that they made. They're the ones that's doing Pikmin 4. They're also the last games, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom that they're doing. Splatoon 3, Nintendo Switch Sports, Brick Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain, Metroid Dread, WarioWare Get It Together, Game Builder Garage, Bowser Fury, and Super Mario 3D All Stars. Um, Another partner that we didn't talk about was Mercury Steam with Samus Return and Metroid Dread. Um, I believe I mentioned Goodfield. I had to look him up for a minute. Goodfield, they did Wario Land, the Shaken Dimension, and Hidden Pictures. Their last three games that they made was Yoshi's Crafted World, Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn for 3DS, Poochie and Yoshi's Woody World on 3DS. They also did. Um, Good job. I think was the indie studio that they worked with to make that game. I believe. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. It just says published by Nintendo, so I don't. They never like. I don't know.
okay. And everybody know Game Freak. But their last three games, where they're making Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Legend Arceus, and Pokemon Home. But they also did Pokemon Sword and Shield. Outside of those games was Little Town Hero, Giga Wreck Art, which is a really cool game. It's kind of like their Metroid action game, but then they go back to the Pokemon series and everything. For them. Uh, HAL Laboratories, that was Iwata's team before uh he moved to
Nintendo
uh
president.
yeah. Sorry, couldn't think. I'm trying to get my notes and everything. Alpha Dream, before they closed,
Rip.
they did Mario Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, Mario Luigi's Bowser Inside Story and Bowser's Adventurous Journey, Mario Luigi's Superstar Saga and Bowser Millions, Paper Jam for Mario Luigi, and Dream Team for Mario Luigi on 3DS. Um, and then they did Post Pet DS, which was in Japan. Yeah. So Alpha Dream had the Paper Mario series. Before they, no, I mean not Paper Mario.
Mario and
Mario
Luigi.
Luigi. Yeah.
I feel like Ed is falling asleep as he's talking.
I mean, there is a lot.
I know this sounds like a topic we should have done, like not talking 35 minutes about the Mario movie beforehand. Um,
Well, oh gosh.
yeah. See,
So our rest, our zest, there is a successor to Artoon. It's made of many former Artoon and Sega employees, and they the ones that made Balan Wonderworld for Switch, Mario Luigi's Bowser. Oh, they helped with um Mario Luigi. They made Hey Pikmin and Me Track. that they did also. So, and partner wise, outside of Platinum Games, has Bandai Namco and Koei Tecmo. Way 4 is doing the Advance Wars gang 1 to 2 reboot camp.
Hmm.
Uh, so they have a lot going on, and I think that's why when we don't know the games that they have in line, I think it's because of all the studios that Nintendo has and the people that they work with that it's just like no wonder you got like almost 12, 10 or 12 games coming out per year. You got all of this content
Well,
from
that
all of these developers.
that was the problem with splitting it between a handheld, like sometimes one or two handhelds and a home
Hmm.
console, right? Like that was the problem. Is there's so many. Nintendo probably has like the most prolific first party output out of anybody. I mean, I would say they do. Like, I mean, Sony's only putting out 2 or 3 games a year, and what was the last game Microsoft put out? I mean, it's if you're putting something out every 4 to 6 weeks, first party wise, whether it's with partners or internally or like a remaster or a re-release or a
Hmm.
remake or a new game, like there's something every month, and it's good. I think Nintendo needed this, and I think when you look at what they have coming out, we kind of know their release schedule all the way through May of next year now. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, March and April you could kind of guess what's going to be there. Like we talked about Detective Pikachu coming at some point, and maybe Advance Wars fits in that area somewhere, and obviously Fire Emblem and Zelda and Octopath, right? Like there's so much coming, and they're like after Zelda, like we know nothing, and it's great, you know. And there's
Right.
been rumors flying around, right? Like obviously Metroid Prime 4 is in the works, and that rumored Metroid Prime trilogy and Donkey Kong and the Zelda ports and all these things are rumored, but there's no confirmation on any of it except for Metroid Prime 4. And we know they like restarted development. And so
Right.
I, I don't know. I think Nintendo's first party does a great job. I think the things that they've done so far for Switch, I mean, I can't really name one bad first party game for Switch, right? What would be the worst first party game that they've done for Switch?
Um,
I mean, I don't
I mean,
know
people
really.
might say like the tennis and Mario Golf, but I'm just like, no, that's not bad. I mean, because
I mean, they're
people,
not
I
bad
mean,
though.
those
They're
games
just
still sold.
I mean, they're not as feature rich as like some of the older games, but they
Right.
definitely like they're not bad games by any stretch. They're like sevens, I would say.
Right. Which I think a lot of companies would be happy with. Because yeah, you could get some sevens and eights, but like if you pass, I think if you pass the 500,000 mark, or even get to 1 million, depending on how the time frame is, those developers are happy. And don't forget, this is stuff is happening on one console. It's not going to different consoles or PC. This is all happening on one console. So just to even get 500,000 copies of a game sold on one console, that's impressive.
Hmm.
At $60, and the lowest that it dropped to is like $41 or something. Like that's still impressive, even years after its release.
Hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it's just it's nice to see Nintendo have so much output, and then you can rely on Koei Tecmo or the Pokemon Company and Game Freak or Platinum to
Hmm.
to fill out some of the roster, right? Like we're sitting here now, and like Platinum has 2 games coming out in October. I mean, you look at Nintendo's October, right? You have Nier Automata, Persona 5, Mario Rabbids, Bayonetta, No Man's Sky, right? Like there's so much in October by itself, and Nintendo
Yeah.
has 2 games that they're publishing. not necessarily first party games, but Ubisoft is doing Mario Rabbids and Platinum is doing Bayonetta 3, and then you have this port of Nier, which is everybody's saying is like the best Switch port of any third party game now, which is kind of nice to hear once in a while.
Yeah, I know that I was watching Nintendo Live. There's like Virtuoso is now becoming the developer to look at for Switch ports. They could continue to bring games out of this high quality. Then yeah, it's gonna be a company that people really need to be paying attention with.
hmm Yeah. And also you have games like Overwatch and Diablo coming from Blizzard, and Overwatch is out now, sort of.
On
That's a
any console, yeah,
different
sort of.
different problem there. Uh, and obviously some of these sports games are coming out, and there's just a good mix. And we had an episode a couple months ago about Nintendo's third party and like their diverse lineup of games when you mix in first
hmm
party and third party and all these things. And I think I think people really enjoy stuff like that. Like I don't know, man. I still think the best bang for your buck is still Nintendo Switch, unless you can score a Series S with Game Pass, right? But even then, like, I still think Nintendo's games are better overall than Microsoft's, in some capacity, right? I mean, I know I still hold Gears in super high regard. I still think Halo Infinite is a great game when you look at it on its
hmm
own. I mean, aside from the multiplayer woes and that kind of thing, I still think Halo Infinite is a wonderful game. Forza is a great game, but like they've been relying on those pillars for so long, and there's nothing surrounding it right now. I mean, we know a bunch of stuff that's coming from them, right? But like,
Yes.
and I know people could point at Nintendo and say, well, they rely on Mario and Zelda all the time. Well, that's true, but they've always had good library fillers, right?
hmm
Um, like
There's been a
Metroid.
lot of consistent.
I mean, you look at the library now. Like, okay, you have your let's say Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, that kind of thing, right? But you also have Metroid Dread and Mario Kart and Pikmin and Link's Awakening and uh, Mario Rabbids and Bayonetta and look how different all of these games are. Donkey Kong, um,
Fire Emblem Three Houses,
Arms,
just like
Fire Emblem, Splatoon. I mean, look how different all these games are.
right. And it amazes me that with all this diversity that Nintendo has, people go back to it or they're picking it up. You know, like yes, we could make fun of Mario Kart 8 all we want to and everything, but look how that game is selling. That's on the level of if I get a Switch, Mario Kart is going to be my first or second game. Like the attach rate to
hmm
the Switch and everything. I think that's why a lot of people who are going through their backlogs for Nintendo and looking at all of these companies in the chain. Let me start. Why didn't I not play this game when it came out? That's a lot thing a lot of people are saying, that why did they not play this game when it came out? They picked it up, put it on the side, and then realized oh, this is why everybody was ranting and raving about it. This is why it got its scores and everything. Because these developers that work with Nintendo, they are putting out great product. They are putting out titles that people are discussing and going back to and everything. So,
hmm
so it's just like it amazes us. Like we talked about 2019, Corey, just that September alone of games that dropped.
Yeah.
Like we talked about having a stack February next year and having a stack October. No, when you got like Link's Awakening, Dragon Quest 8, Um, what else dropped? I think NBA 2K 2020
3,
NBA 20
23.
dropping.
Yeah.
No, in 2019.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like there was something for Switch always dropping. You just be like, how am I going to buy all of this stuff or play
Hmm.
all of this stuff? Like it was packed just in September alone.
Yeah.
Hold on, because was that the same year that Three Houses dropped, and then in
Hmm.
August it was Astral Chain, and then
Well,
Link's Awakening.
it was I think it was Fire Emblem, Ultimate Alliance 3, Daemon X Machina, Astral Chain, Link's
Oh
Awakening.
yes,
Um, and then I forget what was the rest of the year, but that
no,
like
Dragon
July,
Quest Twin, Dragon Quest 10. I meant to say, not 8.
that whole stretch of like between the end of July and through September was just wild. It was insane.
Yeah, because I think did Dead Cells drop that year too? I think so.
I don't remember.
Well, because when Dead Cells, because I don't think it was like officially announced for Switch. I know I just remember that. I think it was 2019 because it was Amazon listing that game was for a pre-order, and they were just like, Dead Cells is coming to Switch. Wait, we heard some things about this on PC, and everybody. That was the time that everybody was just like, I'm not. I'll get the digital version, but people were waiting for the physical. And when the physical dropped, we all people went out to go get it. I'm saying we all did, but I think it kind of shows that just within Nintendo themselves, like man, all of these strong titles that they have released, and even from Wii U to Wii and going back further with their games, it's just like like you said, Corey, Nintendo just have a strong lineup of first party IP.
Hmm.
And whether you like the game or not, or you wasn't feeling it, you can't deny that the quality is there.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah. So I mean, I still love my Switch. I'm going to play everything I possibly can there, right?
Hmm.
And I mean, if it's not great, I'll play it somewhere else. But like for the most part, I mean, I'm gonna play it there.
Right. And not to knock Microsoft with their lineup, but Microsoft were supposed to have that killer hit month per month because of how many games they announced
And
and all the studios that they
I
have.
think that that's gonna start next year, right? Like
Hmm.
I know they want to put out one AAA game every quarter, but I mean, if they own 30 studios, 35 studios or whatever, they should be putting one out every 2 months. You know,
Yeah, because I had a feeling that Microsoft was going to kill it in 21.
in
I
21
really felt,
they did. I mean, you had Psychonauts and then Forza
Horizon,
Horizon and Halo.
but I thought they would have more games
Oh,
coming out
well, I mean, they
for
should
21.
have, right? But they didn't.
Yes.
And Xbox is in the waiting game, and they've been playing the long game. But like at some point, you got to start producing, And so,
Hmm.
I mean, I think Xbox is going to have a huge year, right? With Redfall, Starfield, Hellblade. Uh,
Avowed,
I'm sure the new
Fable.
not those games aren't coming out next year. I mean, you could get possibly the Coalition's next project coming out next
Oh
year,
yeah,
whether it's Gear 6 or their other unannounced project.
Forza Motorsport. Is
Yeah,
it 7 or
Forza.
is it 8?
It's just called Forza Motorsport, but
Forza Motorsport.
I think
Okay.
it's 8, but it's just called Motorsport. Um, and then beyond that, you have whatever. I mean, Ghostwire Tokyo is supposedly coming to Xbox next year, right?
Yeah,
And
when is that supposed to be? I wonder supposed to be dropping.
365 days after the PlayStation release, which is
So
exactly
next
when
fall.
Deathloop dropped, was 366 days after the PlayStation release. Uh, so yeah, I mean, Xbox has a lot in the pipeline, but until we get it, like, you know, it's nice that we got Outriders and MLB The Show and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
on Game Pass and stuff. But like, you can't live on that forever, man. I mean, look at stuff like, I mean, Stadia, different animal, but like no first party output, right? So what's
Right.
unique about that console? And it's getting to the point where like you're kind of looking at Xbox. What's unique on your console, guy? You know, I mean, Gears. I've played Gears 5 3 times already. You know, I don't need to I don't need to play it again. As great as that game is.
And I know they're trying to get Japanese support, but that's just like,
Yeah, I mean
man.
that's the other thing is like Kojima's next game is supposedly coming next year. Probably the Xbox title, which
Hmm.
was I think it was leaked today, right? Elle Fanning, Who Am I? Is that what it's called? Or was that
Yes.
just like a teaser or something?
I think that was just a teaser. Because when Black mentioned it, I'm like, who is she?
Yeah,
Like, I,
Elle Fanning's a pretty big actress. Um,
I just don't. I heard the name sounds familiar. I just got to see what she was in because I probably seen it. And it's just
did you
like,
see Maleficent, the Angelina Jolie Maleficent?
no, I have not.
Oh well, she is in that, and she's
She's
in a
in
show.
that.
She's in a show on I want to say Hulu, one of these streaming services where she's playing like a girl that was accused of murdering her boyfriend or something. I don't really know, but
Uh,
uh,
I think if I look her up and see her like discography, I could be like, oh, okay, I know who she is. I seen
yeah,
this movie.
yeah,
And everything.
yeah.
So, um, and I think s- with Sony also, because we still don't know what they're all planning to do. I really feel like Microsoft is going to have a really great 2020 year, 2023. And if Nintendo doesn't release a lot of stuff, it's okay. We talked about them putting out too much, and you know, I'm fine for a year that Nintendo falls back, put out five or six good games. Even if you want to do small stuff, even if you want to do a box boy or something like that, or box girl, like or or small stuff. If you want to work with partners and get stuff out, fine. I'm fine with them taking a break in 23 because they gave us year after year of great titles. If Microsoft is delivering hot titles, getting Game Pass subscriptions, getting more sales for the consoles, cool, great. Nintendo, fall back. Because my thing is, if your next console or different version of Switch is coming in the future, build for that.
Well, I th-
Get those releases ready for that because everybody's gonna be like, yeah.
well, I think they are right. I mean, how long has this Metroid Prime trilogy remaster slash remake been in the works, right? And so
Hmm.
I think I think that that's a great way to get that game in people's minds is promote it with the next console because like as much as we know people who love Metroid, right? Like it doesn't
Yes.
sell very well, right? I mean, Metroid Dread sold what almost what 4 million units and it's sold more than every other Metroid game combined already. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
uh I think if you want to get eyes on a franchise that's not as popular as Zelda and Mario, you promote it with the new console or the iteration of the console or whatever, and like that's how you get eyes on it. And I think that game is the Metroid Prime remake, and then
Hmm.
next year will be Prime 4 or 2024 will be Prime 4, whatever. And then you release it alongside maybe a new Mario game, which I think is coming next year, and a Donkey Kong game, and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So, well, Corey, I think we're gonna call that our show.
great.
Uh,
It's bedtime.
it is. But Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at I am Corey Nashi on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on the Boss Rush podcast, Nintendo Power Block, and various other things.
You guys can find me on Twitter at that Code and on Instagram. You can also check us out on Boss Rush Network on our YouTube page. Check us out on bossrush.net for some of our other podcasts and written articles there. Yeah, and follow us at Pod Block Podcast on Twitter. Let us know what you thought about the Mario trailer. Let us know what you think about Need for Speed Unbound. Like, I want to hear what did you think of their art style, and does it remind you of any Nintendo games? And yeah, also check out some of the second and partnerships that Nintendo has worked with. You may find a game there that you remember playing and can't believe that this developer did. Like, it's some good history. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nintendo Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.